Hey guys, it's Phoenix Android Radios here, and in this video we're going to be looking at a radio for the 2014 to 18 Dodge Durango. Really quick look, this is the front of the radio. You have pre-programmed buttons, but you can also program these. On the back of the radio, this is what the 2014 to 2018 Dodge Durango looks like. You mainly have this plug for the air conditioning. If you have a 2013 and below, the back of the radio will have a different set of connectors on the back here. And this is the harness you receive with the 2014 to 18 Dodge Durango. This is also similar to the Jeep Grand Cherokee. So if we disconnect this really quick, we can look at what comes in the harness. You get the main power cable, accessory RCA cables here. You have an external microphone that you will not be using. We do provide it, but the radio itself has a built-in microphone here, as well as a setting inside to configure the factory microphone. So we don't recommend plugging in an external microphone because it interferes with the built-in microphone as well as the factory microphone on the car. This is the aftermarket microphone. You have a radio antenna that lets you connect your factory antenna connector in the car. Now they're either going to be yellow or white, and try to fit it into your car and see which one has better signal when you connect it to the back here. That's the radio antenna. You also have a cable for the factory USB port. Now this goes with, the blue side goes to the car, and this goes to one of the two USB cables we have here. This is to support one of the factory USB cables on the car. Now there's two USB cables. One of them has two USB ports. The other one has one. One of them is a 4-pin connector. The other one is a 6-pin connector. The 6-pin connector has two USB ports. These are secondary USB ports that can do power and data. But the main one is the 4-pin, and it has one USB port. This is for your built-in Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. So if you plan on using the adapter to support the factory USB port on the car, we recommend using it on the 6-pin connector with the two USB ports. Connect it like so. Connect this to the car. The other USB port you can route to the outside of the car for accessibility. And we can show you here, the 6-pin goes to here, 6. Make sure that the clip is facing towards the bottom, and you can click it in. The 4-pin connector, clip is facing downwards, and it should click in. So those are the two USB ports connected, and that's the location of it. We also have this little connector which allows you to retain the factory GPS antenna on the car. This end screws onto the back of the radio, and this connector, kind of like the radio antenna, you find a connector in your car to connect the GPS. Make sure you don't get the two mixed up, because if you do, your radio signal will not be able to find stations, and your GPS location will not be able to find because using the wrong antenna. We also provide an aftermarket GPS antenna, so you can use one or the other, the factory on the car or the one we provide here. And they both have a screw-on mechanism that goes to the back of the radio labeled GPS. Remove the red cover, and you can screw it on here. The radio has a Wi-Fi antenna, and that is this here. And right below it, there is a 4G antenna that we can remove the cap as well. Oh man. This is the 4G screw-on antenna, and we do provide a 4G antenna that you do need to screw onto here so that you can insert a SIM card. There's a SIM card slot here, and at the top here we have a short cable with one RCA. This is for any video camera that uses an RCA video feed. So if you have an aftermarket camera, you can plug it into here. But in our case, we have the Dodge Durango with a 2014 to 18. The factory camera comes from this main harness. And if we find the RCA male labeled camera, we can connect it to here. And at the top of the radio, find the 10-pin slot, which is here. Clip is on the bottom, and we can press on the clip, insert, and put the clip back on. So that is the factory backup camera. Now, one thing to note is for the Durango, the camera comes from this large box connector. There is also another male RCA labeled rear view cam. This is for Jeep Wrangler or other vehicles like a Dodge Ram. So don't use this for your Durango. Use the male RCA coming from this plug and not from this plug. Let's disconnect the camera and look at the two main harnesses that we get on this radio. The first one is this main harness. This is the power connector that goes to the back up here. And this is the canvas communication with the radio in the car, and that goes to here. Now on this plug, you can see it comes out with two green wires, as well as two other wires. So this is the camera for other vehicles. Don't use it for the Durango. You also have a 3.5 jack for a microphone, but again, don't use the external microphone, which is what we have here, and don't use this plug for the microphone. That can actually plug into this set. There's a jack labeled mic. Don't need to use this. You do have this two green wires. This you do need to connect, and it is a 8-pin connector. This connects up to here. And we can connect this white plug to the bottom here. The clip is going this way. And so you can see there is the two green wires from that connector at top here, and these two connections not needed, set aside. We can connect the power connector, which is this one, up here. So on this large box connector, we have 3 sets of a red and white. So that's 1, that's 2, and this is the third one. Out of these 3, the Res L and Res R have no function. We can set that aside. And the other 2 we have are CDL and CDR, aux R and aux L in. The aux R in and aux L in is to support the factory 3.5 jack or factory aux jack on your vehicle. Now the CDR and CDL RCAs, red and white, are for vehicles that have a factory CD player, or they have a factory Blu-ray player that also has rear entertainment. So to support your factory aux, use the aux R and aux L. To support the factory CD player, CDR and CDL. The other 3 RCAs are yellow, and we have a video signal 1, a video signal 2, as well as a camera signal. So like I mentioned earlier, the camera signal RCA coming from this box connector is your factory backup camera. The other 2 RCAs, video signal 1 and video signal 2. Video signal 1 is for the vehicles with a Blu-ray player and are for the vehicles with the Blu-ray player and the rear entertainment. This is to get the video out of it. And video signal 2 is for vehicles that possibly have an extra camera like a trailer camera and want to get the video signal from that. There are times where these are labeled incorrectly, so do try to swap out the connectors to see which can get either the camera or the rear entertainment video showing. Those are the RCAs on the box connector. If you have any questions, give us a call or leave a comment below or send us an email. The other harness we have is the RCA harnesses that will go into the radio. So we have a plug right here that goes onto the largest plug on the back here. But looking at this cable, there is a SIM card reader. So the radio has a total of 2 SIM cards, one on the back of the radio, as well as one here where you can insert a SIM card to there. Looking at the RCAs, the first one is the microphone. Again, we don't recommend using the external mic. So even though you're provided with the part, don't use it. There's the one built in on the radio. It also gives you the option to use the factory microphone on the radio. The 3 RCAs we have here are CVBS out 1, aux CVBS in, and aux AV in. The aux AV in is for video feed going to the aux app on the radio. Based on the label, CVBS out 1 should be a mirror of the video you input into either aux CVBS in or aux AV in. And again, you can see that video in the AUX app on the radio when you put a video feed through these RCAs. On the red and white RCAs, we'll have one set, and this set is for aftermarket sound, rear right out, front right out, rear left out, and front left out. And you also have a subwoofer. So if you plan on hooking up an aftermarket sound system, you can use these RCAs to get the signal. The last set of RCA is labeled aux-R in and aux-L in. This is to relay the sound to our radio so that it can output. aux-R in and aux-L in, we only have one set of this, and this is to support the factory sound on the rear entertainment vehicles or the sound coming from your factory aux jack on the car. So coming back to this box connector, we had CDR and CDL, aux in and aux-R in. If your car has an aux jack to support, we can connect it to the aux-L and the aux-R to support the factory aux jack on the car. However, if your car has a aux jack as well as a, say, CD player or Blu-ray player and a rear entertainment, and you want to support both the aux jack and the CD player sound, you do need a splitter to split the 2 RCAs into 2 sets. So this white RCA would split off to 2 females, which then you can connect to the CDL and aux in. So you need a way to get these 2 RCAs into this white one here. And same with supporting the factory aux jack and supporting the factory CD player if you want sound from both features of the car. If your Dodge Durango has a Blu-ray player and rear entertainment on either the headrest or the ceiling for monitors, you have a video signal 1, which can then connect to aux AV in. And as we mentioned earlier, some of these may sometimes be mislabeled, so do try the other 2 RCAs if they are not labeled correctly. And if you want to access the sound from the aux-L and aux-R in for the factory aux jack on your car, there is an app on the radio labeled AUX. So aux will correspond to the AUX app, and CDL and CDR for vehicles with a CD player and a Blu-ray player, you would go into the media app. And that is through the car settings app, then to the media option. Connect this connector to the car, and for the air conditioning to work, we need to connect this connector on the back. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.